Welcome everybody to part 3 of me building this Gundam model kit, right? Yeah, exactly. So in the previous part, I actually got this piece done. So now I just got to go ahead and finish the last remaining parts of it. So yeah.
Has there been a show that like you've seen season 1 and you're like, that was alright, I can watch season 2, but then you saw season 2 and you're like, holy crap, this is awesome?
I'm not quite sure if I would go that far, but I think one of the series would semi fit that would actually be ironically enough would be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I was just gonna say the same freaking thing.
I watched part 1 and I thought
it was cool. It was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, but it wasn't really for a series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
It wasn't that bizarre.
It wasn't like overly bizarre. Like there were some bizarre like moments, like with them doing that like sort of like breathing sort of energy to give them those like powers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a good series. But then part 2 comes along, and they end up teaming up with like a bunch of Nazis to beat these like Egyptian gods in the series.
And then we've entered Bizarro World.
And then at part 3,
when they go to Egypt,
that's when things really start to get bizarre.
That's when it got to be my favorite. Except for the guy with the cherry, he really bothers me. That really gets me. I can't stand that. And then I like the last one.
Oh yeah, the one where they're in that town and you gotta find the guy who murdered all those people.
Yeah.
Part 4. I actually think I like part 4 more than part 3.
Really? I like part 3 best, but part 4 is like really close.
Yeah.
That's like we're watching Bleach now, and it's like, it reminds me a lot of season 4.
Yeah.
With the little, those vampires.
Yeah. With like the weird
bounces or bouts or whatever they are.
Yeah, the bounce.
Which is basically just Dracula. Dio. It's basically Dio and his minions, and then they all have the their little helper dudes, which are exactly like the stands.
Yeah.
And it's just like, copy much?
I think that actually goes to show how much of a cult following like JoJo has as like a series, because you'll look at anything from Japan or like made in Japan, and there's like some sort of like influence.
Well, I don't know about that, because like Parasite seemed pretty. I didn't see anything like that.
That was like over. It felt like a completely like original
like its own show, yeah.
Right.
Cowboy Bebop felt like its own show.
Yeah.
Of course, that's really old. But I could see where the influence maybe.
Yeah, which is funny because a lot of JoJo's actually references a lot of American sort of culture, like how a majority of the characters are named after like music artists.
Yeah.
Stuff. Because they'll have characters like Robert E.O. Speedwagon, and then there's also the character.
It's so dumb.
There's also the character Tom Petty instead of Tom Petty.
It's so dumb. And
then in part 3, there's a character called Vanilla Ice, and then his stand is just called Cream because of Vanilla Ice Cream.
I feel like you can't even. But I really liked that Parasite show.
Yeah, that was a really good series.
I mean, I think the Parasite was kind of dopey. I mean, the one that attached itself to that kid.
Yeah.
But I really liked the bad guy in that one.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher lady. I don't know her name.
I think the problem that I had with him in that series is that, I think what it was that made him sort of dopey is that they gave him like a realistic sort of like lip design.
Yeah, that's it.
Meanwhile, all the other characters are just like traditionally like they just have like their line as like their mouth.
Yeah, it was weird. He just didn't seem right.
I feel like that happens when any sort of anime tries to draw someone in like a realistic sort of art style. It just looks kind of.
Well, it just didn't go with the rest of the show. The rest of the show was drawn really well.
Exactly.
And I didn't really care for his voice that much.
It sounded like a sort of stereotypical, like high pitched, sort of alien kind of.
But I wouldn't be afraid of that. Like the other ones sounded scary. I mean, I understand you couldn't go around going, you know, because nobody'd understand them. But I don't know. But I did enjoy that show.
Mm-hmm. Another series that we saw that was really enjoyable was Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah, I liked that very much.
That one was really, really good. I would like to show you the original version of the series, but they don't have it on Hulu.
Maybe we'll save up and get the tapes. Do you think it's worth it, or?
I think maybe, depending on like your preference, because like I think I told you before, but like during like at the middle point of the series, it starts not following the same story as the manga, so the ending would end up being very different than what we saw in like Brotherhood.
Well, I would hope it
And,
would
like,
be two different stories.
And like certain characters that were in Brotherhood, you wouldn't end up seeing in like the original series.
Is this supposed to be a continuation of Brotherhood? Is it supposed to be the same show?
It's supposed, like the way it was is that the first half of the series is the exact same as Brotherhood. Like the original series came first, and then Brotherhood came second.
Okay.
So during the middle half of the series, it got to the point where it was at the same place as the manga was, because the manga was still being made at the
Right.
time. So they weren't sure how the series was going to end up. And I think I heard somewhere that the director actually encouraged them to make up their own story for the middle and the ending half. And she was actually surprised at where the series ended, where it ended up at the very end. But then eventually they made, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is the series that we saw, which is a retelling of the story.
So it wouldn't be worth watching the first half of it then if we've already seen it.
Well, some parts are like put in like are like
Different.
done in a certain order. Like the first episode where we see the enemy alchemist who like freezes everybody.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That episode is like exclusive to Brotherhood. That scene is not in the original series. It just starts with them as kids and them wanting to resurrect their mother.
Oh God, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a really, really messed up
Yeah,
scene.
don't resurrect people.
And lots of people like to think that that's sort of like an allegory for like making fun of the trope of like reviving characters in series. Because there are times like in like say Dragon Ball Z where certain characters like die like so many times, but they use the actual Dragon Balls to just bring them back. And then there are times in shows where characters will just come back because the fans didn't want to see the end of them.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I could just say, "Oh, I've decided I want to see my dad again. Bring him back to life."
Exactly, but Full Metal Alchemist sort of like
was like, that's stupid.
is like you can't just resurrect a character for no reason. So that's what you get for trying to resurrect someone who dies.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got that piece right here. But yeah, the Brotherhood was a really, really good series. I really enjoyed it.
Is the anime style the same, or does it look?
The
real
art
different?
style does look pretty much looks the exact same, and I believe a majority of the voice actors probably were the same too. Like
Well,
Edward still has his his sort of high pitched but sort of not so high pitched voice to him.
That's the robot.
No, that's Edward is the short one, the one with the red jacket.
Oh, okay.
The one who doesn't like to be called short.
The robot boy. Well, I know it's not a robot.
That's Alphonse.
Alphonse.
He still sounds like a kid.
That voice actor is like one of my favorite. I've heard it in other animes. I really like that voice.
Yeah, he was also Krona in Soul Eater, which we saw.
That's probably my favorite character is Krona.
Yeah, they're my favorite too.
Is he your favorite too?
I think so.
I feel very
I would think that your favorite character would be Excalibur.
Oh
actually.
my God, I love Excalibur. That is my favorite feel good. Like for no reason I'll just start singing Excalibur and shit. Daddy's like, "What are you singing about?" I'm like, "Singing about Excalibur, what do you think?" But that's hilarious. And the freaky dad who's like a little bit too much in love with his daughter, like that's kind of weird. But his character's funny. But no, I love poor little Krona. He reminds me of myself. It's about how my mother acted.
Where did I put the... Oh. I was looking for this piece.
That's
and I
right in front of
realized
your
it was
face. It would have bit
exactly.
you.
So yeah, you just use these to like sand off the
Oh, the rough bits?
the nub marks, so that it's a lot smoother. Because
Cool.
sometimes when you leave those little bits on it,
It would look unfinished, huh?
you would put it on there, and it would just ever so slightly not fit,
Oh, gotcha.
and then it would be like,
Great. Gotta go sand my nub. Oh, Jackson! Jackie boy! You're lucky that he wasn't clipping stuff. You're
So
a
we
naughty
got
boy today.
that.
You stopped that.
and
Naughty panda. He's a bad boy.
so we got that, and then
You're the worst boy.
we got this piece right here, and then he tries to act innocent.
I know. Well, I think it's just his meow. It's like an innocent, high-pitched meow. He's trying to be Krona. Are you trying to be Krona? Your mother doesn't beat you and shove you in a basement.
And she doesn't force you to have that like ghost inside of you that beats you.
Yeah, right? Your sword goes who's like torturing you. That's why I'm waiting for Krona to be a Funko.
That would be cool. That would be cool to have.
I mean, I like your Death the Kid. But I really
Yeah.
want a Krona. Yeah, Jackie wants one
I
too.
think like Death the Kid is probably the most popular character in that series.
Oh.
So we got
Yeah, I know. Why? You're alright.
this bit here,
You're a good boy.
and just go like that.
Seems like an awful lot of stuff on this just a little booster pack. Is that his booster pack or something?
I'm actually not too sure. And then we get the piece from the other half of it, unless it's the one that no, there it is.
I think we're going to be making this video all night long. I'm not getting paid enough as your camera person.
Well, I mean, technically I can pay you.
I'm teasing you.
So we got... Okay, and then we just go like...
Ooh.
Oop.
Take your finger off.
It's okay. And then you just go like that. And then you go like this. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Then I need to get a piece here and a piece there.
I kind of feel like that one little nub piece that you just put on could have already been put together without you having to do it. Like they could have had those two pieces just...
Already put together?
Yeah, like they kind of like they're just really getting nitpicky now.
In a way, yeah.
I mean, I know that you're doing... A person who builds these sort of things wants to build it, but I mean, there comes a point where you're like, dude, a little extreme here.
Yeah, enough a little with that for a bit. So we got that, and then we connect this piece to right here. Like.
We've got thunder. I'm gonna have to turn off the AC. We're gonna roast.
Oh Jesus! We got like that, and then we fit it like this, and
then we can show this little piece and end this episode.
yeah.
Okay.
And there we go.
Don't get dizzy. Okay, see guys? See the little nubs on the end? They made them put those little nubs on that little rocket thingy. Isn't that funny? Okay.
And I guess I'll see you all for the next part.